Hey, today we're going to be having a quick look at Neo Scavenger. Neo Scavenger is a new game that's just been put into beta. It's by a guy called Fedor of Blue Bottle Games. I've placed a link in the description below. If you want to go try it out, you can. There's a free demo. If you purchase the game as well, you can also get straight into the beta and have the regular updates. Um, Neo Scavenger is a sort of survival, sort of roguelike, sort of hex-bait. It's really quite a lot of genres rolled into one. He's done a really good job of describing exactly what it is on his website, if you want to have a look. But this is more just a quick playthrough of just one character's life. I'll probably die horribly right at the beginning, just to try and give you the feel of it, a quick bit of video footage, and just give you that overall sense of what it's all about. Um, we might as well just jump straight in. If you've ever played any roguelikes or really any RPGs, you'll recognise this sort of screen straight off. You can choose your skills and abilities and counteract them against negative traits below. Obviously, the more negative traits you have, the more skills you can have, and it counterbalances each other quite nicely. Being the coward that I am, I'm going to make a character based on myself, being eagle-eyed, uh, quite athletic, skilled at hiding, and good at seeing in the dark. I am also going to make myself feeble. And while I am also feeble, I will also make myself I'll make myself good at melee, so I don't get robusted. That's the thing that isn't really true to myself, but we'll roll with it. You can also see on the side here you've got all of your stats when you actually get into the game. So the things you have to do is keep yourself well fed, well hydrated, so you've got to eat and drink, you've got to rest as well, you've got to sleep. Unburdened, that's like how burdened you are, so if you're running away from an enemy with carrier bags full of ketchup, you're probably going to be running a bit slower than a guy that's just plain dropped the ketchup, abandoned all sense, abandoning the precious ketchup, and running. Ketchup is a precious resource in this, mainly because I like ketchup. How comfortable you are is also your kind of like body temperature and whether you're going to get hypothermia because you decide to run out into the rain in nothing but jeans and a t-shirt with no shoes. Outdoor temperature is obviously exactly what it is, the outdoor temperature. Staying indoors is going to keep you a lot warm than going outside. Also your injury, and there is also they are also traders and things like that to trade with. Right, so let's jump straight into it. This is a encounter. An encounter is kind of like almost like an adventure game style thing where you're presented with a really nicely well drawn scene. I can't compliment this guy enough on this actually. I really like the art style. It's kind of the old style isometric, really kind of like just pixel based, and I really like that kind of stuff. And it gives you the description and what's happening, and you can choose from your skills, and each skill will give you different things. So melee would fight whatever's coming, hiding would hide, athletic would dive out the window. I'm obviously going to be attacked. Due to my cowardly nature, I am going to choose to hide. As you can see, that is pretty terrifying. um, and obviously that's had the correct reaction of me hiding from said beast. I'm now going to use my night vision to see in the shadows, and I found a multi-tool, which is good. Obviously the different skills give you different outcomes depending on what you use on. We've gone straight into the inventory screen here. I have to say that the inventory screen is really good. I love block-based systems. It's like Resi 5 but not annoying. Well, any of the Resi ones since 4. But what you can do is you can store things on the ground, you can put them in bags if you've got any bags, you've got certain slots. Obviously things where you can put stuff is highlighted, so you can see it's highlighted in white. I can put the multi-tool in my hand, which I have done. Obviously clothes can come off, they go on. You've got like the wristband telling me who I am, and we'll ignore that because that's a paid thing where you have to get the beta. It's a really nice system. It's kind of similar, I hate to say, Space Station 13 with a block-based system, which is really nice. I really like this kind of way of doing things. But now that we've put that in hand, go back to the encounter. There's also these nicely drawn little options, the things to click on. Reminds me of Broken Sword. probably that went straight over most people's heads, but if you played Broken Sword, they had little nice pictures describing the things around you could do. So on this one we can have a look at the computer console, which brings up a bit more information. I'm going to skim over that because it is quite plotty, and although, you know, it's not really major spoilers, I kind of want to leave it up to you guys to play the game and get into it yourselves. So now we're on the outside of the cryo facility. The game has started. Um, Obviously the first thing you notice is it's hex based, which is kind of cool. You've got all these different hexes representing plains, hills, trees, places to explore with the question mark, and that's me in the middle. You can also tell how big the map is by this little thing, that's my current thing, and that's all the places I can go, and obviously gets revealed where I go there. It's also turn based, so as you can see I have 5 moves to make this turn, and then I can end my turn. So what I am going to do is move, and you see these little boxes, there are things on the floor you can pick up. So there's water on the floor here, and there's different things you can do. You can click to drag and drop, which automatically clicks to the nearest, would move it into the nearest place where it could go. I can move it manually, so say if I wanted to drag it around, put it in a specific area, rearrange my inventory, I can do that. Or I can click to straight consume it, which is what I'm going to do, because you've found water, guzzle it down like a mad bastard. Obviously, this is going into a town. There was some kind of incident that caused this to go post-apocalyptic, and obviously these towns are the best chance of finding things to scavenge. Hexes can be scavenged, and you can click scavenge, and if you find something you can use items. So obviously there's a building here that I'm going to choose to scavenge, and these are like the indicators of how well you're going to do. So loot is how likely you are you find stuff, safety is how safe the building is, sometimes they collapse on you. Sneak is also how likely you are to attract somebody that might be interested in duffing you up because you found stuff. So if I choose night vision, these all increase. If I choose hiding, I have a good chance of not being noticed, good chance of being safe, and a good chance of loot. So yes, I found something. So I can go to the item screen, and I've hit the jackpot. Holy hell. Right. So what I'm going to do is I found a backpack which is amazingly useful. Usually you have to make to do with shopping bags and things like that. But what I have got is shoes. And I've got left and right. I won't have to walk around for days with only one shoe on. Oh, thank God. And I'm going to choose a nice brown t-shirt, the finest blue jeans money can buy, and a hoodie as well. So I'm pretty well insulated there against quite a lot of things. What I am going to do is pocket my meat cleaver. Well, I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to wield a meat cleaver, as it does significantly more choppy damage. Now you'll notice there are bottles here, and these are containers within containers, so I can take water and store it in a bottle, which is really, really cool in that you have to use containers to do other things. So say you've got a tin of food, you've eaten the tin of food, you can boil water in it over a fire, and it's the little features like that that really make it, because a lot of the time with these kind of games it's just, oh, guzzle down the tin of food disappears, you don't do anything with the tin, and it's a little bit kind of shallow in the way that it does it, really. So you can see I've stored quite a lot of water in those bottles, and I've got all kinds of things here. Actually, I've got tins of food, snack cakes, and these things. These are recipes. So if I take these, it brings up little things I can do, like boil water in a metal pot. I need a campfire, contaminated water in a metal saucepan, which luckily I managed to pick up quite a few of. And it's all like the things that you can craft as well. You can use all these bits of stuff to make things, which is really nice. But what I can do is grab that lighter and any crackers that might be lying around. I've also antibiotics and wonderful ketchup. Yay! You also have things like these newspapers, which do give you kind of insights into the world, and it's a really nice way of doing it. There are also things like these eye slabs, which can be traded in the traders when you eventually find them, just to get money to buy things. But other than that, we're looking pretty well equipped, actually. We might have a good run. Also, you can change your attack mode to punch or meat cleaver, depending on what I've got in my hands. Obviously I'm going to go to cleave, because cleaving is what I do. Obviously I've got no more turns, so I can hit spacebar, end my turn, and carry on. I'm going to consume everything as I go on my merry way. Scavenging. Fortunately that tool shed is locked, so I haven't found anything. So this one doesn't have a lot of things, but I've managed to find a pair of lighters, which is always useful. Oh, just before I alt tab there, you can see that guy. That's an enemy, a looter. Just to show you the combat is obviously turn-based. You've got different types of weapon you can use that do different types of damage. What I am going to do is, hopefully, yep, he's moved into me, so I'm going to, for the sake of argument, attack him. Usually I would run away like a coward until I had something better than a meat cleaver, but I've barely scratched him, and he has considerably injured me. But I have managed to kill him with my meat cleaver, and now I can take all of his things, because that's what you do when you kill people. You take their things and make them your own. I'm also going to read all of these recipes. And I've also identified that that mushrooms are edible. And these white yellow berries, I don't know anything about them. I guess they're edible. We could try eating them, see what happens. However, those jeans are better quality, so I'm going to steal his jeans. Also, his right boot is better than mine, so I'm going to have that as well. I am also going to take the water bottles to store the water in future, rather than just leave it lying around. Let's carry on with our progression. Cool. So I've got some wood now. What I can do is actually hit whole stack and drag the entire 4 logs and the bit of twigs in. Oh, no moves. Going to avoid eating berries if I possibly can, as I'm not entirely sure which ones would kill me. Kind of also want to find shelter before it goes dark. Aha. Right, and read that one. Yeah, so we've identified that these things are edible. So I can eat mushrooms, blue blackberries and red berries without dying too much. I'm going to have a mooch around this house. See what I find. Jelly beans and ketchup. And is that a better hoodie? No. But what I can do is take the majority of this stuff. Obviously, you can arrange these things a lot better than I'm doing. I'm just doing it for quick sake, because gigs is money, and I don't have a full terabyte hard drive spare anymore, thanks to a certain D&D game recording, which will be done in the future. Obviously I'm going to search everything I can on my way through. Precious ketchup. I'll keep the jelly bears, you never know. But what I will do is I'll try and make it towards that place before the end, before it goes dark. Then rest and recuperate. So you can rest, which obviously regains things. It's getting colder, darker, and as night falls now, you can see a glow in the east. This is like the start of the quest, where you can see obviously what's happening. You saw it briefly rain there, but luckily I was inside, so I was decent. I wasn't dying in my sleep from hypothermia, which would have been a shame. But I have found things, and because it's rained, there is water. So I've drunk my way through most of those bottles. And do we have a better left shoe? 74%. That is much better than that shoe. I'll have that. That's a better meat cleaver and all. And a better hoodie. Is it a better t-shirt? No. So I've done alright for myself again. I'm surprised actually, because usually this plays out like a roguelike, in that I get 30 seconds in, die pretty horribly, and then that's it. Game over. Oh, I've attracted a looter. Prepare the meat cleaver. Commence chopping. Oh, he meat cleavered me. Obviously I spoke too soon. Anyway, all I'm really going to say is you really need to go down onto the link below, which is Blue Bottle Games, and just this Dan Fedor guy is making a game that I really want. I've already pre-ordered it and got into the beta, and I honestly recommend that you do the same. Obviously, as more features are added, I might do more videos, but as a prerequisite, I hope it's given you a little bit of insight in. Obviously, a quick look to see how it plays, but he's got a demo on the website, so you can go and try it out yourself at the link below.